Hello, my loves. Welcome to Gigi's Library, where we go on an adventure, one story at a time. Gigi is in Cape Coral, Florida. And because I saw some manatee on my way down here in Crystal River, I thought I would read a book about manatees. This is called Manatee Magic. Manatee Magic, the tale of a manatee on his winter migration. And this is by Sue Trew. It was just another lazy afternoon on the river. The evenings had begun to get cooler, and manatees were gathering where warm spring waters bubbled up through the crevices in the riverbed. They came to see these springs every year to keep warm through the winter months. An Ananinga bird was sunning himself on a dead tree, and there was a sense of peace. Munch was a young manatee. He had recently arrived. He'd swung south for the winter, and at 3 years old, it was the first time that he had made the journey without his mother. He jostled playfully with the other manatees, checking them out with their whiskers, introducing themselves to each other. The manatees were busy feeding on their favorite aquatic plants, but some of them stopped to play with Munch. They rolled this way and that, performing somersaults while they called and whistled greetings. Happy to be with his new friends, Munch realized he was hungry too. Eating was one of his favorite pastimes, and these underwater plants were yummy. Plop went the water next to him. As a red-bellied turtle slid into the river, it came face to face with Munch, but swam quickly away, startled. That little guy's very shy, thought Munch. Sorry to have frightened it. Ready for a nap, Munch dozed peacefully, lulled by the gentle current of the river. His tummy felt wonderfully round and full. He didn't notice two snooks swim silently by him. Suddenly the peace was shattered by the roar of a boat engine. Munch knew the sound meant danger. His mother had taught him that. Quick, he panicked. I must dive. He hoped the water wasn't too shallow. In the wake of the boat, Munch checked himself over. He was okay. Looking around, he wondered, how are the rest of my friends? Oh, humanity had been hit. The boat's sharp propeller had cut his back. This was nothing new for Hugh. He had a zigzag of scars from boating accidents. Slow speed. The river sign says, Hugh found humanity a mystery. Don't people care, he wondered? In the weeks that followed, Munch kept busy eating, sleeping, and playing with the other manatee. Before long, spring arrived, and a sense of excitement filled the air. In the trees above the river, the roseate spoonbill colony was particularly busy with their newly hatched chicks. Every time Munch came up to breathe, he was greeted with a barrage of squawks from above. All the babies seemed to be calling at once, "Feed me, feed me." Munch thought their pink feathers were the prettiest he had never seen, but he was very happy to go back under the water where it was quiet and calm. Things started to get busy under the water, too. Some of the manatee cows were getting ready to give birth. They had been carrying their babies for 13 months, and Munch thought their bellies were looking very large indeed. Baby Minnie was born early one morning and took Munch by surprise. How cute she was! He watched as her mother helped her newborn calf to the surface to breathe, encouraging her with squeaks. He marveled at how quickly Minnie started to drink her mother's milk from nipples tucked under her flippers. Minnie stayed close to her mother, sometimes swimming on her back or catching a ride on her tail. When she grew tired, she tucked herself under one of her mother's flippers to rest. As Minnie grew bigger, she became more curious. Her small black eyes peered out from behind her mother, watching life go on in her underwater wonderland. As at 2 months old, Minnie began to nibble on aquatic plants. Though she was still feeding on mother's nutritious milk, she found a patch of wavy weeds and wondered if she'd like the taste. "Stop!" shouted Munch from nearby. He spotted some fishing line and a big hook in the weeds and was frightened that Minnie would get tangled in it. She drew back just in time and was soon safe again by her mother's side. From then on, Minnie and Munch were firm friends. They played together every day exploring the river. Minnie's mother was never far away. Their favorite game was tag, which they loved to play between the mangrove roots. Hiding in the root systems were hundreds of baby fish. They'd dart this way and dart that way. One day, as two friends surfaced to breathe near the riverbank, they saw a big alligator. They had seen her before, peacefully mingling with the manatees, but today she clearly had something else on her mind. What was she doing? Wondered Minnie and Munch. They swam closer on the shore, and the alligator's large nest was a mess. "Look!" cried Munch. "Her eggs have hatched." The new mother was now surrounded by her clutch of babies, all grunting with excitement, and she grinned. As they watched the new gator family, Minnie and Munch heard a small, bossy voice. "Hey guys, out of my way. I've got to hide so a heron doesn't eat me." It was one of the baby gators as he scrambled under the nearby water hyacinth. "He's rather small to be so sure of himself," Munch thought. The baby gator continued boastfully, "I'm Giz, and I'm going to grow up to be a big alligator one day." Minnie and Munch laughed. "There's a lot of lessons you'll have to learn first," they chorused. His mother seemed to agree. Quick as a flash, she grabbed Giz in her mouth and gently brought him back to the nursery pool. "I guess we'll be seeing you when you're big enough to come out to play, Giz," chuckled Munch. As they turned to go, "Grunt," came a muffled reply. With the warm summer temperatures came change. Some of the manatees had already begun to swim north. Minnie and Munch were having so much fun they hadn't noticed them go. "See you next winter," Munch asked his young friend. "Yes," she called as she swam after her mother. "We'll be sure to come back again." Munch sighed. It had been the best winter ever, but now she must start a new journey. "I wonder what adventures await me," he thought more cheerfully. He started to swim downstream. "I cannot wait to find out." That is the end of our Manatee Magic book. Thanks for joining Gigi in Gigi's Little Library. We'll see you next time.